Having a reach advantage here. We'll see how he uses it. Tua with a big left hook, and Ruiz in trouble. Tua comes right at him. Another big bomb, and Ruiz is down. This could almost be over now.
In the 90s, the name David Tua sent chills down any boxer's spine when they heard it. And for good reason. Standing only at 178 centimeters, this boxer possessed a lightning-fast punch that could knock out any opponent's senses.
On that one. Maskaev is out.
Today, we're going to talk about David Tua, the Terminator of boxing. David Tua was born on November 21st, 1972 in the state of Samoa. His father, a boxing enthusiast, would often put gloves on young David and have him spar with people on the streets since his childhood. Initially, David did not enjoy this at all. In fact, there were many instances when he ran away from home just to avoid fighting. However, starting at the age of 13, when he began attending a boxing gym, David quickly started to stand out, thanks to the training he received from his father in his early years. He became someone who never returned from competitions without a medal. In 1991, he participated in the World Championships held in Sydney. Here, the 18-year-old Samoan made it to the semifinals without much difficulty, where he faced Felix Savon, the Cuban three-time Olympic champion, who knocked him out in the first minute.
And the heavyweight division, that's the 91 kilo.
Thus, having become a bronze medalist at the World Championships, he participated in the Olympic Games in Barcelona in 1992. There, in the semifinals, he lost to the Nigerian boxer David Izon and secured another bronze medal. After knocking down his opponents in the Olympic Games, the 20-year-old boxer caught the attention of famous promoters. Tua then signed a contract with the renowned Main Events promotional company and moved to the USA. Within 3 years, he fought 20 bouts, and it was during this time that he began to unleash the rapid hook punch on his opponents, a move that would later make him famous worldwide. In the spring of 1996, Tua faced John Ruiz in a fight for the WBC international title. John Ruiz, who would later go on to defeat Evander Holyfield and become a world champion, was knocked out by Tua in just 19 seconds, showcasing Tua's formidable power.
See how he uses it. Tua with a big left hook, and Ruiz in trouble. Tua comes right at him. Another big bomb, and Ruiz is down. This could almost be over now.
Thus, boxing fans were convinced that during Tyson's incarceration, his place was taken by another formidable boxer, acknowledging Tua's emergence as a force to be reckoned with in the boxing world. Later that year, Tua faced off against the African boxer David Izon, the same opponent who had stopped him in the semifinals of the Olympic Games. David Izon, with only one loss in his professional boxing career at the time, was considered one of the promising prospects. Aiming to live up to his reputation, he put up a worthy fight against Tua. Remarkably, the African boxer managed to extend the match, taking Tua into the 12th round, an achievement that was considered a personal record against such a formidable opponent. Just when the fans began to lose hope for a knockout, Tua's hook punches found their mark with precision. Tua began 1997 with a fight against Oleg Maskaev. Coming from a strong amateur boxing background, Maskaev attempted to keep Tua at bay with fast, straight punches.
Maskaev gave some great information. He said they're going to tell Tua to...
However, staying true to his style, Tua quickly closed the distance and landed several punches.
Good combination by Tua. Now he's
In the 11th round, seizing a moment when Maskaev paused, Tua caught up with him and delivered a blow that brought Maskaev to his knees.
Maskaev is out. He goes down and a referee stops the contest.
Several months later, Tua faced the Nigerian Ike Ibiabuchi, who was also undefeated and had a reputation for dominating his opponents, much like Tua. Ibiabuchi, nicknamed the President, had not faced a defeat yet and was sweeping through his opponents. Fans predicted that the clash between the two knockout artists wouldn't last long. Indeed, from the very first second, both boxers began exchanging punches without taking a single step back, demonstrating their willingness to engage in an intense battle from the outset. Clash of these titanic figures was deafening. In the initial rounds, Iki Ibiabuchi took an active lead, dominating the early stages of the fight with his aggressive approach. However, starting from the 5th round, Tua got seriously into the fight and began unleashing a barrage of punches. Yet Ibiabuchi absorbed Tua's world-famous punches without flinching, demonstrating his resilience and toughness in the face of Tua's powerful offense. Thus, after a highly competitive battle that lasted for 12 rounds, the judges unanimously awarded the victory to Ibiabuchi. However, many fans and boxing experts believe that the victory was unfairly taken from Tua, sparking debates and discussions about the outcome of the fight. This victory came at a great cost to Ibiabuchi. Following the fight with Tua, he began experiencing various auditory hallucinations and became paranoid to the point of fearfulness. Despite this, Ibiabuchi achieved a few more victories, but not long after, he was imprisoned on charges of sexual assault, only being released in 2015. After experiencing his first unjust defeat, David Tua was forced to start over. Knocking out 5 opponents within a year, he encountered the undefeated Hasim Rahman towards the end of 1998. The winner of this fight would become the mandatory challenger for the IBF title. Learning from Tua's previous fights, Rahman began to keep the Samoan at a distance with his jab, avoiding close encounters. Rahman managed to land a series of punches, accumulating points throughout the fight. However, this pattern couldn't last forever. In the 9th round, launching into an attack, Tua landed 3 consecutive left hooks to Rahman's jaw. Even one of the punches landed after the sound of the gong, leaving Rahman dazed and barely able to make it back to his corner. In that state, still unable to fully recover, the American was overwhelmed by Tua in the 10th round, effectively ending the fight.
He's about to go down. Only the ropes are holding it up, and Hasim is going to stop it right here.
In the future, Hasim Rahman would go on to knock out Lennox Lewis and become the undisputed champion. As a result, Tua, now a contender for the championship belt, would however have to wait a significant 2 years before getting a shot at the championship fight. It was not until the end of 2000 that Tua, for the first time in his career, competed for a title, facing Lennox Lewis, the holder of both the WBC and IBF belts. By this time, Tua had gained some extra weight, which had begun to affect his previously renowned speed. As a result, the now slower Tua was kept at bay by the cunning Lewis. Throughout the 12 rounds, Lewis maintained his distance, effectively outmaneuvering Tua, leading to Tua's second defeat in his career.
Still, the universally recognized undisputed heavyweight champion.
Despite this setback, Tua, who had just turned 28, still had a promising future ahead of him. Shortly returning to the ring, he knocked out the experienced Danell Nicholson in the 6th round, signaling his readiness to continue his ascent in the boxing world. In the summer of 2001, Tua faced Chris Bird, aiming to become a contender for the championship belt again. The Southpaw Bird was known to be an awkward opponent for any boxer. Having defeated Vitaly Klitschko just a year earlier, Bird didn't give Tua any chance either. Despite Tua's relentless aggression and his attempt to land a series of punches, he was unable to connect effectively with Bird's vital points. Ultimately, Tua lost the bout on points, failing to overcome Bird's defensive strategy. Forced to fight in ranking bouts again, Tua faced the former world champion Michael Moorer in the summer of 2002. It took Tua just 30 seconds to dominate Moorer, showcasing his powerful punching ability and quick victory capability.
Two body punches early.
After the initial flurry of punches, Moorer fell to the ropes in a dazed state, his eyes open but unseeing, as he collapsed unconscious. A year later, Tua had a rematch against Hasim Rahman. At first glance, Rahman might have seemed an easy target, but he proved to be a very awkward opponent for Tua. Despite Tua's efforts and the numerous punches he threw, he struggled to connect effectively with Rahman. Amon, having found his optimal range, once again accumulated points effectively. As a result, the bout, which lasted for 12 rounds, concluded with a draw.
Tua trying to end it in the closing seconds, and he's the one who goes down on a punch.
A draw.
Following this fight, David Tua discovered that Kevin Barry, his longtime trainer and manager, had been deceiving him and embezzling funds. This revelation led Tua into a legal battle that lasted for almost 2 years. Only in 2005, due to financial difficulties, Tua made a return to the ring and achieved several victories. However, his new promoter was unable to arrange a fight for him against the reigning champion at the time, Vitaly Klitschko. By this stage, approaching his 40s, Tua seemed to accept any fight offered to him in an effort to quickly accumulate money. David Tua's last professional fight took place in 2013 against the Belarusian boxer Alexander Ustinov. By this time, Tua, at the age of 41, was only a shadow of his former self. Despite this, he put on a commendable performance. However, Tua lost the fight on points and announced his retirement from boxing afterward. It's the story of David Tua's career. Despite having knocked out numerous world champions, Tua, regrettably, never managed to secure a championship title for himself. However, he will undoubtedly be remembered in boxing history as one of the hardest hitters. Today, Tua resides in New Zealand, where he owns a boxing gym and dedicates his time to training the next generation of boxers. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit the like button and support us.